what a win, first of all. It's amazing. Last night in the hotel, we showed a video to the team of it was about you guys, sports writers, that in the Super Bowl between the Falcons and the Patriots, these sports writers that had a story written when the Falcons were up 28-3, and how they had to tear all the stories up and write a new one because of the way the Patriots came back. So no disrespect, but I hope every single one of you had to tear up your story that you've been working on for the last 2 hours and start a new one. Augusta does not seem pleased with me right now as I say that. But it's true. But the whole point of the video was we don't let anyone write the story for us. And that there was an outside narrative this week, maybe, I don't know, I'm insulated in the building, but no matter what people say on Twitter, no matter what people write on the message boards, no matter what people say on talk radio, we, the people in this program, write the story. And that was the point of the video, and it's crazy how it all came to fruition today. So proud of our team, my gosh. First of all, there was so much bad football out there today, from busting coverages in the first half on defense and giving up explosive passes, turnovers on offense, 2 holding penalties by 2 DBs on the same play, missed tackles, a couple bad snaps on some kicks, some explosive plays on offense that came back because of holding penalties. So, I mean, we can't have that, and we'll talk about that tomorrow and continue to get it corrected. But wow, what a job by our guys, just never flinching. And I said it after the East Carolina game. I said it after the Troy game. These guys battle, and they love each other, and it's pretty special to watch. And I hope our fans appreciate how special this group of guys is. There were a lot of great plays in that game and a lot of great moments, but I don't know if anyone meant more to me than right before the offense took the field for that last drive. You see the whole defense come down there, Jabari Ellis, JJ, Aaron, all the DBs, and they're all in the huddle encouraging their teammates, and had not every right, but at that point it hadn't been going well and it didn't look good, and the defense got to stop. They just kept making stop after stop after stop, and then the defense comes down there and has their backs, and then Zeb and the offense go right down there and score to win the game. So what a finish, what a game. We had a lot of, I'm sure you guys will ask about injuries and different guys that were out today for different reasons. We had a lot of adversity that we had to overcome, but these guys just keep finding a way. And there's something to be said for that, for sure. Give credit to Vanderbilt. I know what the narrative was coming into this game. That's a team that, late in the second quarter against Florida last week, it's 14-0. That's a team that was down 14-0 to Colorado State and came back and won. They've got size, like I told you about all week. The quarterback coming in today, we thought that might happen. He's a runner. He did a great job. The running back runs hard. They're physical. They're tough, and they showed that today. So Clark Lee's doing a lot of great things for that program, and their future is bright as well. And then thanks to our fans as well. We really appreciate the guys that were out there. We had an unbelievable amount of recruits that were here today. Saw a bunch of them just now after the game. We're going to get this program back to where we all want it to be because of the way that we're going to recruit here. And when we have a home field environment like that today, that helps big time. Not just with us, but all the sports that had recruits here before the game. So a lot to improve on. I know you guys got a lot of questions, but what a win. What a win, and congrats to our guys as well. I'm so proud to be their coach.
David with the first one.
Hey, Shane. You got a new quarterback? Is Zeb your starter going forward?
We'll see. I mean, Luke's foot was bothering him a little bit late in the game. Was having some trouble making throws, and he made some great throws as well. It's a shame because we had some big explosive passes that would have been big-time plays that got called back because of some holding penalties. So, like every game, we'll go back and look at the video of the game. But Luke did a lot of good stuff, and Zeb obviously came in and did an amazing job as well. He's a phenomenal teammate, and people forget. I mean, we were 2-0 and had just gone down right down the field against Georgia on the opening drive when Zeb got hurt. And so he continues to operate at a high level for us, and Luke continues to get better as well.
Ben Portnoy.
Shane, I can confirm I had to tear up the story, so appreciate that. But as far as quarterback play, and when did you really figure out that you were going to put Zeb into the game? And then just take me through that 8-play drive. I mean, what did you see? What were you guys calling, and what kind of happened there?
Yeah, I guess the series The series before, when we got a little bit of pressure and we threw the interception, the last interception, actually before that series, we had talked about it and because Luke's foot was bothering him a little bit and we just needed a spark to finish some drives. And then, or I guess right before that series, and then right after that last interception, we just knew that if we're going to go win the game, we were going to give Zeb an opportunity, and we needed a healthy quarterback in there as well. And Zeb's got a great feel for our passing game and protections, and we work 2-minute a lot on Sunday nights before I jump on the teleconference with you guys. We do that at practice every single week against each other, offense versus defense. We work it on Thursdays and create all kinds of different situations, and we did it on Thursday in practice, and I think we went 3 and out both times on offense. So we obviously were a lot better tonight, but just throwing the same stuff we've been throwing, and some great individual catches across on that drive. EJ Jenkins and I mean I can't remember them all, but just playmakers, and that's what we talked about all week as an offense. Is we've got good plays, but let's get the ball to our playmakers. Zaquandre, Jaheim. On and on and on. You saw those guys making plays. I mean, you look at Jaheim today, 6 catches, 136 yards. Xavier Legette had to step in today. Van Joyner ran the ball a little bit better. Z White getting back in the mix. So I tell you guys all the time, we're just continuing to get better as a team each and every week. And you saw a lot of guys that have been really working hard in practice that showed up today.
Colin Taylor.
Yeah, Shane, before I forget, just what were the reasons why Juju, Jalen, and Dylan missed today? Do you anticipate them back? And what did you see, especially from Xavier, in extended time?
We expect them back soon. Juju was out for an accountability team policy issue off the field. Love that kid. Talked to him this morning. He will be back next week. Jalen has a personal matter that he needed to attend to today, and out of respect for him, we allowed him to do that. Hopefully he'll be back with us soon. And Dylan Wanham had a back issue that flared up late in the week. That he was on track to be okay this week. He practiced this week, and then I guess it was Thursday, Friday, didn't improve as quickly as we like, but expect him to be back soon as well. And then the guys that got hurt during the game. I mean, I think Kevin Harris went down at one point. I think he came back. Marshawn went down at one point. He came back. Jalen Dickerson got banged up. Joey Hunter got banged up. So it was a physical game out there, and took a toll on both teams.
Corey Diaz.
Shane, you've kind of mentioned him in passing a couple of times, but obviously it was not necessarily scripted for Zeb to come in on that final drive, but also too, Xavier Legette catches the game-winning pass, a guy that's really been fighting for playing time. So just talk about those two guys, just really stepping up and seizing that.
Yeah, you always got to be ready, and those guys were. And X is a good player. I mean, I've said it since the day I got here. To be a receiver and have his size and his physicality and strong hands, he's a guy that we like and proud of him and the way that he played today to step in, have 4 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown, and that was huge. And then same thing with Zeb as well. And when we practice, we work a lot of good on good, and we talk all the time as a staff about playing our players and continuing to develop depth. And this was the halfway point of the regular season, and a lot of these guys that maybe haven't been playing as much, we need them to continue to get better as the year goes on. So by the time we get to the last game of the regular season, these guys that haven't been playing as much continue to improve and can continue to help this football team.
Ben Reiner.
Hey, Shane, when you kind of look at the overall defensive performance, it seemed like there were a smaller set of busts and then kind of all right on the plays around that. Does some of that reflect sort of a defensive scheme this week that sort of was, I guess, a little more high risk, high reward, or was there sort of another factor at work that kind of leads to that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I really feel like, game plan wise, it was the same as it has been. I mean, we kind of do what we do on defense and don't really change a whole lot week to week. I think the biggest thing with us is, that quarterback got around and scrambled, and when I think the first big play, we were in 3-deep zone coverage. You shouldn't be giving up an explosive pass in 3-deep zone coverage on a scramble, and guys just got to be more disciplined from that standpoint. And credit them. I mean, they made some plays, but when you have missed tackles like we had, that went there. A lot of their yards were missed tackles on the perimeter. A lot of the drives that continued were because of penalties or busts on defense. We've got to get that cleaned up. You know, we talk all the time about playing smart football, and you guys have heard me say it a million times. And you know, we've been pretty good on the penalties the last couple games. I think we've been around 4, 5, 6 the last couple games, and we had 10 today. I mean, way too many, but we were able to overcome it.
Cam Gaskins.
Hey, Shane, as a Falcons fan, I could have done without the 28-3 reference, but wanted to ask just about, you kind of touched on it just a little bit there. The win is the most important thing, obviously, but how do you, I guess, kind of toe the line of emotions between celebrating the win and also being rightly frustrated with the self-inflicted wounds that you guys are still kind of dealing with here in week 6 to 7 at this point?
Last night after the team meeting, when we showed that video, usually the final team meeting at 9 p.m. before they go to bed is supposed to be positive and uplifting, and after that, all these guys from Georgia, JJ, Aaron Sterling, I had to pick them up off the floor because they were in the tank after George Wynn, our director of football operations. I mean, they got together and they were a sad group, so that one kind of backfired on me a little bit. But no, I mean, there's I look at it, obviously it's got to be better. I see the good we did today. We've got to overcome it, you know, and it's all the things that we talk about in practice and to execute. We do ball security. We have officials at practice so the defensive backs don't hold, and you know, we can't do that, and we'll certainly on Sundays, win or lose, we come in and we're very honest with our guys and coach the stuff that was good and coach the stuff that was bad and learn from it. But we're gonna really, winning is hard. You guys have heard me say that today. Winning is hard. We really are going to enjoy this one and then learn from it and get ready for Texas A&M.
We'll take two more, Augusta, then Hale. Augusta.
Hey, Shane. First of all, I apologize for the intensity of my listening space just then, but I wanted to ask just kind of about Zaquandre White and why we hadn't – I was looking through the stat sheet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had seen him get a carry since the Georgia game. You know, had he been battling through an injury? Where had he been? And will he continue to have a larger role after playing so well today?
Yeah. Yes. He hadn't been battling an injury, you know. With him, it's just we got a good running back group room with Kevin and Marshawn and the way Juju's been running the ball, and those guys were doing better in practice and all the details of runs and things like that, accountability stuff. He hadn't been as good, but he's been doing a good job on special teams, and you know, and we talked about it this week as a staff, as an offensive staff, that. Who are the playmakers on our offense? And when I think about playmakers and the guys that bring energy to our offense, Zaquandre White is one of them. So, you know, we're fortunate to have a great group of running backs. We've got to continue to find ways to get Z White involved, and he brings energy to our team. The players on our team, offense, defense, special teams, they love the kid. And they love the kid because of the way that he practices and the energy that he brings. So when he is touching the ball, good things happen. We met when we came in off at halftime. You know, when we met as an offensive staff and defensive staff. I mean, one of the things I told the offensive staff was, tell me exactly how we're getting the ball to Zaquandre White early in the second half, because we need to get him going. And I think we got him the ball in the first play of the game. So thankfully they listened to me on that one. But he's a guy. He's explosive and he just loves to compete, which we want guys that love to compete out there and bring energy, and he does.
Last one goes to Hale.
In the second quarter, that decision to go for the decision, and what did you think of the call there? Was it supposed to be a screen? How was the time?
You're breaking up. I didn't catch that one. Can anybody help me out that hurt him? Something about it. Was it supposed to be a screen?
Was it about the play call in the second quarter, Hale?
Yeah, the fourth decision.
The fourth down at the end zone.
I know it's called.
Yeah, why I went for it? Yes. You know, I just felt like we were playing well on offense and kind of had them on their heels a little bit. And, you know, we talked to the team all week. The theme's kind of been attacking. And we had an amazing team meeting last night about attacking. This was before the Falcons video and something else that we do. And the whole theme's been attacking. And I felt like we kind of had them on their heels a little bit and felt good about the fourth down call. And their guy made a made a nice play over there on the sideline to stop it. So didn't work out, but that was my thought process on that.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thank
Appreciate
y'all.
it.
Have a good night.